Hello, how are you? We are back again for the next lesson, and today we are going to look at equations involving squares. Equations involving squares. Last time we looked at the number of things. We looked at the square root. Like the square root of 25. We also looked at the square when you have 3 to the power 2. This one we said the square root, it's a number that we can multiply twice itself to get the 5. So to get that number which is in the root. So in this case, it's a 5. Because 5 times 5 we get that, which is 25. So if you look at this one, we multiply this 3 2 times itself. So we get 9. So the square, so we are going to have the equation like if you are given x to the power 2 is equals to 16, then they ask you to solve the equation. What are you supposed to do? For you to remove that power 2, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to introduce the square root both sides. Last time we were introducing the square both sides. Today we are introducing the square root both sides for us to remove that square. So let's write some notes as usual. Yes, so these are equations involving the square. You can see the squares. Here we have power 2, power 2, power 2, both sides power 2. So these are squares, the power 2s. So how do we solve these equations? Remember last time we said when you have square root of x is equals to 3, then they say solve the equation. For you to remove the square root, you need to introduce the power 2 both sides, so that this and this can cancel themselves. Then you remain with x is equal to the square. 3 squared, the answer is 9. So again, today we are given the square to say, can you solve that equation? Just opposite to this one. Here we are introducing the square. So now we have already the square. We introduce the square root both the sides. So the x will be equal to, but for the square root, you are supposed to get two answers, the positive and the negative. So here, the answer will be positive or negative 3. Why are we getting the positive and negative 3? Remember I said when you have 3 squared, the answer is 9. You also have negative 3 squared, the answer will still be 9, because negative 3 times negative 3, you get the 9. So take note of that as we are looking at example 1. So question A. So I'm going to introduce the square root as I explained there. Both sides. So I'm going to have 3k plus 1 square, you introduce the square root. Also the other side, you introduce the square root. So this and that, we're going to have 3k plus 1 is equals to positive or negative what? 7. The square root of 49 is what? It's 7. So now we are going to have two equations. The first equation will be 3k plus 1 is equals to positive 7, the 7 there. Then another will be, or 3k plus 1 is equals to negative 7. Then you solve this equation and that equation. How do we solve the equation? I'm sure by now you know how to solve. If you are watching this lesson for the first time, don't just join us. Make sure that you watch all the lesson that we have given you from the first one up to this one. I don't know if it's the 9th or 10th. So make sure that you watch all the videos so that you can get the concepts. Because here the one will go the other side, you are going to have 3k is equals to 7 minus 1. So 3k is equals to 6. Then here what are we supposed to do? We divide both sides by 3. So over 3 over 3. So k, you cancel that. Then the answer for this one will be k is equals to 2. So that is our answer. Here also, you say 3k is equals to negative 7. The one being negative going the other side of the equation, it will become negative. So we have 3k is equals to negative 8. Same signs, remember we add the numbers. So over 3 over 3. So here we go, we also going to have k is equals to negative 8 over 3. So these are our answers for question A. Let's quickly look at question B. Okay, let's look at question B now. We are just going to do the same as we did on number A. We are going to introduce the square roots both sides. So in this case, I'm going to have the square root 2x and also the square root of 81. So this square and the square root will cancel themselves. I'm going to remain with 2x minus 3 is equal to, for the square root when you are solving the equation, you get the positive and the negative. So positive and negative. Square root of 81, that will give us 9. So this is 2x minus 3 is equals to 9. Then you solve the equation, the negative sign will change when the 3 goes the other side. So I'm going to have 2x is equals to 9 plus 3. 2x is equals to what? 12 over 2 over 2. So we are done. This into that, you get the 6. So the x is equal to 6. So the other one now, you say, or you say 2x minus 3 is equals to, there we are the positive 9, now we are going to have negative 9. So we are going to have 2x, the negative 3 goes the other side, it is going to be negative 9, positive 3. 2x is equals to, different sign we do what? We subtract and maintain the sign of the bigger number. So we get negative 6 over 2 over 2. So our x in this case will be negative 3. So you need to get two answers. So if you check the past papers, you find that in paper 1, you find that they have written x is equals to, or, so what are they saying? They are saying you are supposed to have 2 answers. So take note of that when you are solving equations involving the square. You are supposed to have 2 answers. So that is our B. Question C now. Question C, if you look at this one, you can't just go and introduce the square root. It's different from this one. This one we had 2x and 3, they are negative 3, they are all squared. So, but here we have 2y squared, meaning only y is squared, 2 is not squared. Unless if we have something like this, that's when we can introduce the square root. So in that case, we need first to read out of the 2. So now how can we remove the 2? We need to introduce the 2 both sides. So that we have y squared is equals to 2 into 18, get 9. Now there we need to read out of the squared by introducing the square root both sides. So we introduce the square root both sides. So we're going to have y is equals to, as I said, you need to get 2 answers. We're going to have positive and negative 3, of which we can say y is equals to 3 or negative 3. So this is how you are supposed to solve question C. Let's quickly look at the D. Yeah, so this is now the last question, question D. We have squared both sides. So we need to remove this squared. How do we remove this? quickly, how do we remove, my students? Yeah, definitely you have to introduce the square roots, both the sides. So we are going to have the square roots. So this and this will cancel themselves. This will cancel themselves. We remain with x plus 3 equals 3x minus 1. So this is the linear equation. I'm sure you can be able to solve that equation. So what I'm just going to do now is, let's try to continue interacting. If you'll be able to solve this, can you kindly send me the answer in the comment section? I'm going to respond to you. You can quickly finish that one. This marked the end of our lesson on equations. The other equations, we'll look at them later when we'll be looking at how to solve quadratic equations. So for meantime, on equations, we're going to end there. We are going to start the new topic, which is factorization. And we have 4 ways in which we can factorize an expression. So make sure that you check out for the next lesson that we are going to give you, because it will be under factorization. You should be able to know what is to factorize. So this is your own Mr. Kolopa. We're going to meet next time, and don't forget to subscribe if you are enjoying our lessons. Thank you very much.